Welcome everybody to episode 22 of Tales from the Tackle Shop, and we are nearing the end of the fishing season.
Yeah.
So this is the Monday, it's the 11th, so this will come out the 13th.
Yeah.
And that'll be it, mate, won't it? On Thursday.
That's it. Season over.
Withdrawal symptoms have set in, and I've just realised I haven't tested the audio. Oh, that's all right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's working.
Oh, that's good.
I was a bit worried then.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it, isn't it?
Is it? What are we going to do?
Well, I don't know. I get withdrawal symptoms for like the next 4 months or whatever. Yeah, so it's weird because like you go fishing every week, and I mean, to be fair, my gear is horrendous, absolutely horrific. But
it is.
After Sunday, after yesterday, it's just all coming out, getting pressure washed down, cleaned. And I'll go a couple of times now, and that'll probably be it for a fair length of time, and then it'll get absolutely mullered come October again, or September time.
I picked Alex up tonight, and I said, have you got a new van?
Yeah.
And he went, no, I've had it nearly a year. And it was because you've had it cleaned.
Yeah.
I actually thought you had a new van.
I know. Someone else said that to me. How long you had a new van? I said, since April. He goes, have you? I said, yeah. But no, it's, I don't know, it's a weird time of year. It's like, we're just waiting for the weather to turn before like the silly season on the commercials. I think everyone's pretty much happy that the season come to an end.
Yeah.
And I know it sounds silly, but I feel for the anglers that specifically this year with the floods and stuff like that haven't been able to get on the river all winter because of it. But we've been fortunate enough to be on the river every week, get a match. You know, I've been wallowing in mud.
Are you the mullers?
Well, we're all millers, aren't we, at the end of the day? And I don't know, I think it's quite nice that there's a little bit of a break. Yeah. It's good that the venues, looking at the state of the river and the pegs and stuff, it's good that the river gets a bit of a break. So, yeah, it's a weird feeling, isn't it? You do want to carry on fishing, but at the same time, you've just not fished. Is fished out the word?
It is. I tell you what, I've noticed is that this year I haven't fished probably much from Christmas onwards. And subconsciously, because I now competition fish a lot, I know I'm now getting ready for that, and it will kick in very soon on different waters around the country and going abroad and all sorts. And I've kind of like thought I'm not going to bother going because it will start soon, very soon, and then it's full on till October. Yeah. But traditionally, I get to March, and I know if I fish properly throughout the winter, I've had enough by now. Yeah. But I'm in a different place. It's very weird. But I understand what you're saying because you guys you're totally focused for all your comps and all the matches that really kick in post-Christmas.
The team fishing is more winter time for some reason,
And Tony Watton said the same thing to you a couple of weeks ago, didn't he? When we all stood in Whittlesea Spoons.
Yeah.
He went, I've nearly had enough of this season. Yeah. And that's, I think, when you fished hard, you mentally get a bit
I think so, yeah. I mean, this Sunday, because it was the last match of the season, it's almost like, I don't know, the pressure's off. Like, it's just, you're not doing your gear twice a week, and do you know what I mean? You're not. It's just a case of, well, here's what it is. Last one of the season, it is catch a few fish, and then it's all going in the cupboard. But it's
not the match; it's the prep.
Yeah.
Because downstairs I've got gear everywhere, and I'm just getting ready little bits. That's not the main part. I haven't tackled any rods. I've got a comp, my first kayak comp Saturday week. I haven't been in the kayak yet. So I've got to get out and fishing the
familiar
kayak. Yeah. But I'm getting my gear ready for then, but I'm actually going to practice this week on a different water with similar setups. And it's that, isn't it? It's the prep. Because in your head, you've got a list of things that you need to do, and it's never ending. Yeah. It's the same for predator anglers in comps. You guys with your pole rigs, you've got so many rigs set up.
Hook lengths,
everything.
Elastics.
And you've got a checklist. When you get to a certain level, you have a checklist that is non-negotiable. You've got to do, and it takes hours, doesn't it?
Yeah, and I think that's what a lot of anglers look forward to. They have a little break where they literally shove it all in the shed, and then come sort of end of April, May time, anglers they get like a, you see it, all of a sudden they appear in the tackle shop and say, "Hello mate, how you getting on?" And they buy all floats and bits and bobs and terminal tackle, and then they think, "Oh, I've got to go fishing." So they go a couple of times on a commercial, and then they go, "Oh, that's not for me." And then all of a sudden, June 16th comes, and every single weekend.
Yeah. You've got to get warmed up.
You have, yeah.
Yeah. You can't just go,
Oh.
pleasure fishing's all right, but you can't.
No, it's not the same, is it?
No.
But I think this year in particular, my gear is, it's awful. It's awful. Mud. My van's caked in mud. My pole, I've even cleaned that twice this year and it's still caked in mud.
That's a rarity, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Even with all the rain, I've been quite fortunate. It just cleans itself, you know. But honestly, my gear just, it's awful. And we've caught loads of fish as well. That's the other thing. It's not like you've not caught anything. You know.
Everything's taken a battering because you've been used to it. Yeah. Would you say this has been the best year ever in the Fens for cumulative scores for individual anglers?
I think fishing wise, yes, especially after Christmas. Normally after Christmas, the venues suffer from, you know, angling pressure, and it just naturally falls down. And like £20 would be a good weight, £25, £30 mega. But this year, it's just like phenomenal.
Do you keep a score, not necessarily weights, more positions and points? So you know if you've had a really good season, you know if it's your best season ever for points.
Right.
Do you do that?
No, I don't. I think you just know where you know when you're fishing well. You know, it's some people probably do. Some people probably write in a match diary when they go home what position they've come, and I know some people put it in spreadsheet, and you know they've got far too much time on their hands as far as I'm concerned. Matt Barker, so he's got it all worked out and all this, and fair enough. That's how people analyse things. Whereas for me, I just analyse it. You know yourself whether you're doing right or wrong and how you've done. And the Winter League, well, my fishing starts in September when I go to Ireland and finishes pretty much within the next couple of weeks, and then starts again in September. But it's as a season as a whole, as a team and individually, it's been pretty decent, to be fair.
Would you have taken this at the beginning of in September?
Yeah, I think so. When you work out all the team events we've been in, apart from the actual Winter League final itself, we've won as a team. So, you know, that's what you set out.
You've won everything apart from the Winter League?
I'm pretty sure we won the Eastern Region Shield. That was the first sort of match we entered as a team, and then obviously we won the East Midlands Winter League and we won the Hayjack League, and obviously fell short in the actual final. But you can't ask for much more than that, really. So locally, it's been a good year, and
so Pep's happy.
Yeah. Obviously, it's like the Champions League. He's only happy now he's won the Champions League, isn't he? So obviously the national as well. We had that on the Gloucester Canal. That was you know, we didn't really put lots of effort in because it's one of them venues where I think if you go, you got to put the effort in and do well. So I think we ended up coming 10th out of I don't know how many, which top 10 not seeing the venue against Division 1 teams. You know, we'll take that. You know, we haven't put the effort in. It's just one of them. So yeah, it's been all right. Plenty of fish to be caught. Loads of fish to be caught. I mean, even the Eastern region was good. Sort of basically that was the start of the season. Personally, I had a lovely day. I drew another bung hole.
Well, I've got a couple of pictures I might drop in here.
Yeah, 9 kilo roach on the NENE. That's nice fishing.
You're getting a bit of reputation as bunghole baits.
Well,
I shouted that in the curry house.
I'd like the fact if people keep calling me bunghole, it must mean I'm doing something right.
So I shouted this out in the curry house after the Winter League final, and Tony Watling turned around to me and said, I was trying to get his attention. Bunghole. And Tony Watling turned around and said, that applies to quite a few people in here.
Yeah. Him included.
There's a few people turning around trying to talk to him when he keeps shouting that out.
Yeah, no, it's no, we've had a good year. We've had, you know, a real good atmosphere amongst the team, and you know, it's competitive, you know, and that's what you want, you know.
Do you know if you've had a bad season, by how many T-shirts you've won?
Yeah, maybe. Some people get them every week, don't they?
Well, I saw Danny Mason was claiming he's going to be triple XL, isn't
he? He owned it, to be fair to him. I didn't realise how badly he got beat up at the weekend. It was one of them. Danny is a very positive and aggressive angler, and put it this way: if the fish were there, we'd still be weighing him in now. Do you know what I mean? That's how he had more whips set up than anyone. He had everything set up, but yeah, I think he just went it a bit too aggressively.
There's also a rumour circulating around locally that You came last on last Wednesday.
Now, that rumour is not true.
We've even had the legend himself, Simon Wilson, on the phones.
Yeah, you know, do you know what? The whole day was just like, I enjoyed it. It was fantastic fishing. I went there to fish the old...
You were last on the...
No, I was not.
You were last place.
I was not last. I was not last. If I'd have been chip shop, I'd have quite happily said I'd been chip shop. But for whatever reason, there was other anglers below me and they didn't put their weights on the sheet. So it made me look like I was last. So cheers, John Cook. Thanks for that, mate. Yeah, people were saying, is there 2 Alex Bateses? Is there one live in London and one live round here? And I was like, no, that's me, yeah.
But that was a crazy...
Oh,
the weight.
Honestly, it's like...
What did you have?
An absolute lesson, that's what I had.
No, what did you had? 40...
£55.
£55
Yeah,
came
and I felt
nowhere.
like I caught nothing.
Yeah, the winner had...
£120.
Of silvers.
Skimmers, yeah, and some roach.
That's madness.
Yeah. It's mega fishing. I mean, I went down the route of trying to... Obviously, these Will Raisin, Wilsamore, Simon, love you, Simon, Darren Davis, Paul Holland, Bobby Taylor, they're all there. Basically, all summer they fished that style. And I went down the ground bait, maggots, worms, casters, root, natural baits, and...
Come last.
I didn't come last, but I might as well have been. Do you know what I mean? It was quite embarrassing, to be fair.
What, for catching 50 odd pounds? Embarrassing.
Well, no, they were catching £90. And it was a pellet day. And basically how they caught, I didn't even have anything in my bag to even do that. So I'm not
That's
making
not like you
excuses.
normally have the secret sweet corn stash.
Well, sweet corn didn't work, did it? I'm knackered. If the corn
Size
don't go,
12.
if the corn don't go, I'm useless, mate.
Brilliant. I mentioned Simon because before we forget, I did the video with him on Benwick, and in the video he said we're going to do a competition. No, he didn't. We said it on a Facebook post when we promoted it, and we were meant to announce the winner last episode on here.
Yeah.
Completely forgot, and just been on the phone to him. We're going to extend it by another week because, to be fair,
No one's entering it, are they?
it's about 10 people. What you need to do, guys, is find
Well,
Will's.
first of all, what they're going to win.
It's a pretty good prize.
It is, yeah.
So go on.
So if obviously you're picked out at random, the winner.
There's 3 winners.
Three
You've got
winners.
3 chances.
So you're all going to receive a set of floats of the new
We can't say.
floats. Obviously, the question, I'd be giving away the answer there, wouldn't I? Anyway, there's 15 floats, so 3 lucky winners are going to win 15 of these new floats.
There's a pack of 4, pack of 7, pack of 4 in the range of these new floats.
Yeah.
So the question is, can you name the 3 new floats in his range?
Yeah.
You need to put it in the comment section
Watch the video.
of the Facebook post. Watch the video if you don't know what they are.
Yeah.
It's pretty straightforward because we kind of talk about them, or he talks
Yeah.
about them a lot. So in the comment section, name the 3 new floats in his range, like and share the post. And then Simon's going to sort that out for next week, and we'll announce 3 winners in next week's podcast.
Yeah.
And he will get those off to you. That'd be good. So if anyone's been eagle-eyed and had noticed we hadn't done that, we did forget last week. We did remember this week, but obviously we just thought we'd extend it by another week. So that's pretty good. There was something else I was going to say off the back of that, but it's completely gone.
Gone.
Do we mention Derek Skinner in his book?
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, so Derek's actually sent me the match results for the Spilsby bunch. I've closed that. We need to go back for when we get to the results section. But he's also brought out a book, and I said I'd give it a plug. It's Life on the Racetrack and the Riverbank. And I'll put a picture up here somewhere, and it's on sale through Amazon.
Amazon.
Yeah. I think it's good when people go to the effort of doing stuff like that. So it's a bit of a strange combo, motorbikes and fishing, but it will appeal to some people. So have a little look at that. So Derek, thank you for sending me the match results.
Maybe he mentions the old Skinner rig in there.
We still haven't done that, have we?
No.
Just going back to your what you said about your match season starting in September, you've actually got a very big match on June the 16th.
No, I can't think of it.
You do know.
Oh, what, when... Oh, the swing tip challenge.
There we go. You do know.
Right, yeah.
Mate, you've got to be on form. I don't want any excuses.
Right, okay.
Because I think we should have a £10 side bet as well.
A tenner? What, that I'm going to beat you?
Well, I'm not as rich as you, Shake. I can't afford 50, 100 quid.
Righto.
Take a curry.
A curry?
The loser buys the curry.
If anyone knows any real expensive curry houses, just let us know, because that's where we're going to be going.
June the 16th.
You reckon you're going to beat me on the swing tip?
Dickie, mate, yeah.
Really?
Yeah, 80 Stokes is getting me warmed up.
He's giving you the old monkey bites.
I get a lot of line bites.
Yeah.
That swing tip, mate, when it's on the Dreamer there, you can't get anything better.
Yeah, we'll see.
What I remember as well, April the 7th, guys, we're having a litter pick. So Cheesy Bob doesn't know this yet,
What?
that we're doing the litter pick.
I've told him.
Is he up for it?
I think so, yeah. He was like, yeah.
So Cheesy's going to be at the bypass. He doesn't know this yet. I'm going to be out here at Wiggy's
Yeah.
with Tom Moyer, and you're going to be at... No, you're going to be at Wiggy's.
Oh,
I'm going to be at Health Centre with Tom Moyer,
right.
and you're going to be at Wiggy's, 10 till 1. So if any match anglers out there, if you
I like
fancy...
the way you give me the biggest shithole bit. Eh?
It's closer to your house.
Oh, right.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
And then we're all going to meet at the Ship pub at just gone 1 o'clock, and Paul Wing has kindly agreed to put something on for us.
Yeah.
But I think he's going to have to get them through get refreshments from Cheesy. This is what Cheesy's integral to all this.
Right, okay.
And he doesn't know about any of this. So
Right.
if he's watching the podcast, Cheesy, I can't hear anything. I don't have any. Cheesy, we need you at the bypass and to supply the sausage rolls.
Right.
But he doesn't know this yet. So we're going to go to the Ship afterwards for a pint or two.
Yeah.
So that's April the 7th. And Alex might be a bit tender from the night before.
You reckon?
Yeah.
I'm not as old as you.
The Peterborough crew are going to take him out for a curry and
A curry and a beer.
maybe 2. Yeah. So that could be a very interesting weekend. But yeah, it'd be nice for anglers who have used the venue. I know it's not you guys responsible for the litter, but it'd be quite a good PR stunt.
Definitely.
But more details to follow. So Cheesy, if you're watching, I'll try and phone you before this comes out.
I was going to ask you, how's the old Finland Guardian scheme and stuff like that going? Because obviously I think a positive reason why it's not been mentioned.
Nothing. You contacted me 2 weeks ago.
Yes.
That's the first report I've had about any illegal fish
Yeah.
removal for 2 years.
Really?
Yeah. So either it's all stopped, which I don't believe it has, or it's gone a bit underground,
Right.
and those responsible do it less, probably in the dark, when they're not getting seen.
Yeah.
I think what happened when we first did it, we had a massive impact. So we had 3,000 business cards and 3,000 leaflets over a period of about 6 to 8 months, got distributed by everybody who was involved. And I think it had a massive impact. And if you think of the litter pick that we did through that, we had probably 70 odd people in 11 different locations picking up litter. So it had a big impact. But it's designed to highlight areas of danger.
Yeah.
Hotspots
Yeah.
is probably the best for people to keep an eye out. And if I don't get any reports, can't really do a lot with it. I was going to close it down. But then I spoke to a couple of people. They said, well, just keep it going just in case something crops up. So if anyone's thinking it's not, I don't want it to be a community page where you're just going, it's not designed for that. It's designed to go, there's something happening there.
Yeah.
I mean, Shepperson's was always a hotspot.
Yeah.
Haven't heard a thing. So if we've helped curtail that in cahoots with Marchton District, it's been, and Al Thompson, the EA bailiff, enforcement officer, then we've done a good job, haven't we?
Yeah.
So I think that's where we are with it. If anyone thinks any different, let me know. But yeah, I don't think using social media when you don't have to is a bit pointless, that type of thing. So I don't know. What are your thoughts on it?
No, I think as a year as a whole, it's definitely that aspect of fishing has definitely gone quiet for the better, obviously.
Yeah. Seems to have done, doesn't it?
Yeah, for whatever reason, which is good. So yeah, no, it's good. It worked, didn't it?
I think it definitely had an impact to start with. Yeah. I mean, people now know what to do if they see an incident. I'm hoping that they're getting in touch straight away with the EA and the police if they're seeing it because of the business card. But
obviously now we're going into close season time. It might come into effect, doesn't it?
Yeah, good point. So yeah.
People need to be aware of that.
Yeah, keep an eye out.
Some of it is actually genuine and people don't realise, but a lot of it isn't genuine. So.
I know ex-pupil. He's must be nearly 30 now, at least mid-20s, and he has the close season being abolished. I said, no. Some guy was trying to tell him, genuinely, it's been abolished.
Yeah.
And he said he just wanted to double check. And
Yeah.
I said, no. So people get confused. I don't know why, but they tend to. Should we elaborate on the duck?
The duck.
Yeah, that was the thing. That's the thing when I said something.
Yeah, so Aid messaged me, and the reason for the duck is basically the amount of rain we've had this year. We all need to be ducks, don't we?
With snorkels.
Snorkels, because obviously everywhere's flooded. That's the reason for the duck.
Well, makes sense now. I thought it was an award they were giving out. Obviously,
Yeah.
they're sympathising with the rain.
Yep.
And how many flat float podcasts we
can do, yeah.
Yeah, there's a limit, isn't there?
There is.
Cool. Right, should we drop in Simon's little product plug?
Yeah. Yep.
So when we recorded the podcast with Simon fishing in Italy, which I think was received quite well.
Yes, it's really good. It's very interesting as well. A lot of people have commented in the shop about how interesting it is and how the Italians' outlook on match fishing is so different to ours, and little things that we could do to benefit ours.
Well, that's interesting because I worried it was a bit long, but
No, I think people. I know we have a laugh. I think people do like that content. You know what I mean? And especially Simon being as good as he is, and people listen and take it on board, don't they? So
he's very thorough, isn't he? Explains it well. So when we had him in the shop, what we did a little piece on the back. It's about 20 minutes long, just looking at the 3 floats in the range, so you can take a shortcut to do that competition here.
Yeah.
And wanted to have a.
And they've been quite. How could I put it? They've been quite sort of appropriate this year. The floats that he's done for the weather as well.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And you picked out 1 or 2 other bits of SiWi and Hydra stuff as well, didn't you?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. So let's go into that, and that will explain beautifully the new products.
Mm-hmm.
So we're here at Tackle and Baits with the owner, Alex.
They're not using ones.
With 3 new SiWi floats. So I've got a range. I've got 12 floats in the range now.
So how many's in the range now?
There is.
No wonder my shop's getting stocked up.
Well, the more I make, the more you buy. It's brilliant.
Yeah, it's great, isn't it?
Yeah. So the first one is, in the podcast, we chat a little bit about a canal in France called Bethune. And I have a float like this, which is called the Pencil. But this is called Pencil Plus, which is a sort of basically the same body, but goes in bigger sizes, and it's got a plastic thicker tip.
Mm-hmm.
The standard pencil goes up to 0.8. It's really designed for fishing places like Benwick, with a little bulk, dropping it in, catching little fish, looking for lift bites and unders. So this starts at 0.8 and goes to 1.5 grams. This shape, well, it's not something I didn't know already, but this shape float is very popular in France. And on this deep canal, despite the fact that it's got boats on it and a bit of movement, I found it the best shaped float to use in in those conditions. So when I came home, I decided, right, I'm going to upgrade or make a second version of the same float, just out of my own personal fancy, really. I thought I'm going to make that because I liked it and it worked well. I modified what I had and I had some floats similar to this. So that is just basically the same float, bigger sizes, thicker tip. So
what's that one called?
Pencil Plus.
Pencil Plus.
So you've got Pencil that goes 0.2 to 0.8 in 4 sizes, and you've got this that goes 0.8, so it's 0.8 is available in both versions, goes up to 1.5.
Yeah.
So that's a new one.
Sensors used to do one called LOM years ago. They used to have a green body with a black top. Same, and they were good on like rivers as well. Like, you know, when you're fishing over a little hole in the weed,
That's it.
you got to put your rig in and like run it. As soon as you go past your bait, lift it and drop it back out.
I'm looking forward to using this on the Gloucester, on the Sensors Challenge, because the other pencil only going up to 0.8. I've used it. I've used it on like top 4 for roach. It's fine, but I want to try that out in the deep water for roach and skimmers. And the shape really does show up lift bites because of the neck on the top of the body, and it's surprisingly stable.
Yeah.
But obviously, being slim, it is sensitive. It's a really, really popular float in France for bloodworm fishing, for roach, really popular. So that's new in the range.
Yep.
Then we got Steady. So this was, basically, I've been using this float for years. And a bit like my original canal floats, I just got to the stage where I've got like 3 left.
Was this the Umber Tide float?
No, it's not the Umber Tide float, no. So this is a steady, SiWi steady, plastic tip, wire stem, reasonable. I think that's probably 1 mil at least.
You can see it, can't you?
Yeah. So this float is a classic float if you're going to Evesham and fishing hemp or strung out with maggots for chub maybe, and just a nice float for fishing like that. And obviously good for the drains if they're moving. You've sold quite a few. Yeah, looks.
Especially when you get that horrible surface skim. The bottom's just about moving, but the top's pushing everything through. Looks like it's flowing real fast, and you can just hold it against the flow and the wind.
I mean, anybody who used to fish the canals around London back in the day, you know, body up floats for squat fishing used to be really popular, you know. So I bought this out, and one of the places I use this float is on the Warren Lake Meadowlands, and also on Barston, because they can both get a lick on with tow because they're so shallow. And especially if you've got, I fished a match on Warren not long ago. I drew peg 18, which is a brilliant peg, but the lake fished hard, and it was wind, but the wind was going with the tow or was pushing the water. And if I tried to fish with any other float, I just couldn't sort of hold it back. You know, a little bit of line on the bottom. So it is a very, very popular shape in Italy for fishing for carp in lakes. Believe it or not, they always use this shape.
Right.
Because it just sits so well, and you can flick it out past your tip as well.
Yeah, you can just hold back. You can use a back shot with them, but it's probably best not. You need more line, don't you?
You need more line.
Yeah.
It's not a float to use with a short line.
No.
It's a float to use with at least 8
lash.
Yeah.
Running your peg like a loose feed float, innit?
Yeah, and just trying to control it. So it's probably not like, I don't know, you probably don't stock a lot of floats of that shape body.
Well, the float I mentioned in the podcast that we've just done, called an Umbrio or something,
Umbria,
which is it's very similar to that with a carbon stem.
Right.
And they're the only 2 body up floats I think I've got in the whole shop.
Well, you mentioned Umbertide.
Yeah.
Umbertide is a river full of chub, where you fish with maggots, loose feeding, flicking, and that old Umbertide float is a great float for fishing hemp. And this is a type of float you would use in that situation as well.
Yeah.
Starts at 0.2 and goes up to 0.5.
Yeah.
So quite like a lot of my floats.
Really stable.
I just do them in the sizes for a specific job.
Yeah.
You know, in a 3 gram you could use it on a bollo, but that's not my thing. So so that's new. Quite a nice. Is a nice float. That.
Yeah. Fish is lovely.
And this is your one, isn't it, Alex? Really?
Magic roach, yeah.
Magic roach.
Yeah. Very, very favourable round here. I think there's quite a lot of uses. You could use it on the Gloucester Canal.
Yeah, definitely.
Because it's a fibre bristle.
Yeah.
Fairly strong or thick wire, which obviously stops the float from sort of chair legging, as we say round here.
Yeah.
It gets under the wind. You can dot it down to a dimple and still see it.
Yeah.
You can fish it with a bit of bristle if you want, but I find they're better fished down to a dot. I don't know. They just sit under that skim.
Yeah.
You can hold back a little bit. You can do a bit of everything with one rig.
Yeah. It's quite a sensitive float.
It is, yeah. Surprising. Even though we catch a lot of fish around here, you still need, you see your bite quicker. Everything's quicker. You can fish it with a bulk.
Comes out the water nicely because of the slim.
Yeah.
These came out. I can't remember if they'd come out or if I'd just got the prototypes. I used it on the Thames Festival, 3-dayer. The first day I caught £15, which was 1 bream and the rest roach. The next day I won the match with about £17, but that was mostly on hemp. So I didn't use this float. But the last day I caught £16 of roach again over ground bait on the long pole, and I used this float. And like you said, it just, you think, any time soon it's going to start submerging.
It fishes the same every time.
Yeah, I had it literally dotted, and because I'd balled it and I hadn't actually loose fed that day, I was just cupping. The fish were settled on the bottom, and it was perfect with a bulk. It was just trimming up. And sometimes when the fish are feeding in a little area on the bottom and not flying about, the bites can be quite small, can't they? They're almost like bloodworm fish.
They are. It is. Yeah. And it just, you see it. They just fish really well.
Yeah, they are sensitive.
And that shape, obviously, on the drains, you get obviously flow depending on the rain and stuff, but you get moderate flow, and they are bang on.
Yeah,
absolutely bang on.
They're all right when it's windy.
Perfect.
Because Little Port gets a bit.
With Little Port, yeah, I've used them in the 1.5 grams, 2 grams at Little Port.
Yeah.
I'm going to set some up for Gloucester. I think places like the Junkie and the Staney and air and colder, maybe in the bigger sizes as well. Through
Yeah.
the summer, I think would be a real popular float.
It starts at 0.4 and goes all the way
Yeah.
up to 2 grams.
Yeah, most of the time, 0.4, 0.6 using on the drains.
Yeah.
Because of the depth, but the deeper ones, you know, if you're fishing March bypass where you got 6 foot, 7 foot, maybe
Yeah.
0.8 and a gram.
Yeah, I used them there the other day actually.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're nice float because you can like lay the rig in and like hold against your bulk almost. So you're holding again, and then as it goes in, you obviously drop us on your bristle down to that, and it just fishes, and you know.
Would you use that with a back shot, that float?
I have done in the past. Yeah, have done.
Yeah.
It doesn't. You can fish short lines as well.
Yeah.
I mean, that shape you could use that for bread fishing as well.
Yeah, it's quite good for lowering in on a short line on a spot of bait.
Even like we call them mong rigs, which is basically a hook length and all your bulk. I think you got one on here actually.
Yeah, that's one of my shallow.
Yeah,
Glacier
like a bleak rig basically,
Yeah.
but fishing at full depth. And you can put that in just above your bait. It sinks down to the bristle. It might only run 30 centimeters. Dink.
Yeah.
You're straight in.
That's what it was like on the Thames, because the Thames doesn't really flow. It's just it's when the locks start opening, you get a bit of movement from the boats, and that's what that day was like. Really, my bait was all like in one spot. I could just lower it straight on the front edge of my bait, run it a yard, and within that yard it was under.
Yeah.
And
People might confuse it with the squat, but it is totally different. It's a fibre bristle, a thicker wire.
the body's quite
a
similar.
little bit, yeah. The body shape, yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, this is fibre, 0.8 fibre, and a thicker wire, longer wire stem. It's not really a float so much for fishing on the drops like a squat float, would you say? Or
you could fish off the bottom.
yeah,
You can fish off the bottom with it definitely, but it's more like when you're catching over an area, a bit similar to the Pencil Plus. But just with a little bit of a body, so you can sort of just hold it, and you can just imagine your hook bait just wafting up and taking it that way.
Yeah, you do a lot of that type of fishing, don't you? So
yeah.
So that's really the three
new patterns.
Three new patterns.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Obviously a product which, I mean, I must sell a lot. I presume all the other shops do as well. Is the float paint. Since sort of you were on the podcast, probably 2 years ago now, you were saying how in Italy they buy all yellow floats and paint them up.
Yeah.
And definitely there seems to be a bit more of a trend for yellow bristles, which is good for the tackle shop because we get 1 million in a trade pack. And to me, that's a lifesaver. Do you know what I mean? So definitely worth considering getting some bristle paint. Obviously, do the yellows and the blacks and the whites and stuff like that.
I've been doing a lot of skimmer fishing recently, and I quite like to get a yellow float and paint
just that much
orange for the old or black. And but that paint is it dries quickly and smooth.
You don't get no like lumps, do you, unless you've painted it like an idiot.
It can. Sometimes the colour can separate a little bit from the liquid it's mixed, but if you've got to give it a good shake, it's very.
People think, it's very.
No, it's
once you shake it up, it is brilliant.
You can literally paint your float, ship out. It's dry by the time you drop your rig in, which in the middle of the match is you don't want to be hanging around too long. So that's good stuff.
And then we've got some different hook patterns, haven't we? Obviously the 510s. They've been popular.
Yeah.
On the pre-tides, which are gaining more and more.
Dead hand on fluorocarbon.
Yeah, nice and stiff.
Yeah.
But they're brilliant speed hook, aren't they?
Very sharp.
Yeah.
The silver hooks in the Hydra range seem to be exceptionally sharp, sharper than the black hooks for some reason.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's the nickel finish.
I think I prefer silver hooks anyway.
I like silver hooks. Yeah.
You know, like when you sat there in the summer and you put a big maggot on your hook and you got a black nickel hook. This is what I find. And then all of a sudden you pick your next rig up and perhaps do a bit of emp fishing, and you pick that rig up, and say the maggot's still on there, where the maggot's like in the heat and everything, it's like blunt straight away on
the hook.
Yeah.
I
don't know if it's in your head or what, but
I remember when I was a junior, I was on a match once, and I couldn't catch nothing, and I went off for a walk and watched one of the older anglers, and he'd just come back with he was fishing a stick float. He's a tiny bit of black weed on his hook. And he's like, he's just said, look, you won't get a bite if it's like that. You know, I was only about 14, 12 or whatever. And I just think, when I look at black hooks, I think it just looks like that bit of black weed if you're fishing maggots.
Yeah.
And I'm sure, in my head, I think sometimes the roach see the silver hook
Oh, 100%.
And they just go for it,
Yeah,
like a lure.
Well, how many times you get bites on bare hooks? Like,
Yeah, red hooks.
yeah.
So I used to fish quite a lot of bloodworm matches at Evesham.
Yeah.
And the best weight I've had was 17 pound of roach on bloodworm, which was a red letter day. But that was like on a silver hook.
Yeah.
You know, the amount on the Gloucester, I like a silver hook for roach. If I'm bream fishing, you know, not so much, because you're usually fishing more on the bottom, waiting, and maybe it's a bit more camouflage in that situation. But fishing like a little bit through the water where the hook's catching the fish's eye, and they do actually seem sharp. They're so sharp in silver, a lot of hooks.
And then this is a new pattern, which obviously,
yeah, so
the
this
701s.
Yeah, so 701 is the shape of like a feeder hook, really.
Yeah. But it's super sharp and
Very sharp. It's like a medium strength hook. It's not like massively strong, but it's strong enough for the wire. It's a hook we use. I'll put it this way: this is the hook we use at Hydra on the flat float, where you're catching some big fish.
bits of worms.
Yeah,
maggots,
like
bunches of maggots.
last year in a 18 and a 20, I used them on the Gloucester for bream and skimmers,
Yeah.
because in a small size they're quite fine and they're sharp and
Places like Tamar, would you use them for skimmers at Tamar?
yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely 16, 14. So I haven't been to Tamar for a while, to be honest.
No.
But that's a hook we use a lot in
What
Italy.
about Bow Beach, a place
Bow
like that?
Beach, yeah, definitely Bow Beach. I mean, a 14 is you'd probably match that to 016,
Yeah.
018.
They've got a decent spade on them, haven't they? So
yeah,
you can
yeah.
some
And like a 10, I
card.
know you've been asked for 10s and
Yeah.
12s recently. I mean, for Ireland, they're-
single maggot fishing for hybrids.
if you say so.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, that's a very sharp. All these hooks are very sharp.
Yeah.
They're very consistently made. They don't snap.
Obviously they're Seiko, aren't
They're
they?
Seiko, yeah, they're good. They're good hooks. That 601, that's a real popular hook in Italy. It's like a bit like a black nickel census.
Yeah, it looks like
a
a
128.
128, yeah.
You know, that type. There's a lot
Yeah.
of hooks like that, but that's a hook we use a lot as well. And
Silicon.
Silicon's good. Obviously, we got the very fine blue for the
Yeah.
because my
For
canal
your,
floats.
that's if any of Simon's sort of canal floats, that's perfect.
Yeah, because
That's
they have
bang
got
on.
light wires in a lot of them.
They're not as heavy as the roach, are they? They're
Yeah, the
bit.
roach have got and the pencil and that got thicker.
yeah.
thicker
So have you got
stuff.
any new products in the pipeline?
There's a
coming in?
bit of new clothing, not a massive amount. There might be a little bit of new luggage.
Yeah.
The whips are staying the same again for this year.
The Queen.
The Queen whips, they're always steady away. They're not too bad. So no, it's not masses of new stuff.
So out of all your range, what is the best selling float?
What is the best selling float? I would say
Carbon squat.
the squats really
Yeah.
seem to have
Carbon
caught-
more than the, because I know a lot of people say to me, "Oh, I'll have some of them carbon squats," and then, "Oh, well, yeah, but these are wire." Yeah, but it's the
It's
bristle.
the tip.
The bristle.
The carbon squat is my favourite
Yeah.
of the lot because it's something that I just thought. I've got some floats which were carbon through,
Yeah.
all the way through, which I really liked. But wires, I like a little bit of wire in a thin wire. I know a thin wire it went out of fashion because they just seem to get thicker and thicker, even in little floats. But a thick wire will just make your float stand up before the shot do the job of making
Yeah.
a float. A thin wire, in the best bleak floats I've got thin wire in.
Right.
And when you're fishing for bleak, you're always fishing, especially with the smaller floats, on the drop really. And that's what I sort of equate to squat fishing. You're fishing on the drop, but
So an ideal one would be a rapid with a wire, would it, for bleak fishing?
yeah, rapid is not a bleak float.
No. So
No.
people would use it as a bleak float.
You
wouldn't
could, if there's a lot of bleak.
they? So
and
these
it's
are
frantic.
popular. I do sell a lot of these rapids
It
for
depends.
speed fishing.
Yeah, no, but they are for speed fishing. That's
Yeah.
what we use shallow for Carasio. I know
They
it,
just-
it
they
sounds
just
a
fish
bit
quick, don't they?
sounds a bit fiddly saying, "Oh, that's not a bleak float," but a bleak float would be a bit shorter
Yeah.
for fishing up in the water. Certainly,
And you wouldn't have that shape. You'd be more slimmer.
you could
profile.
use that shape.
Yeah.
They're generally either straight or a bit like a punch float
Yeah.
but chopped down.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's a great float for fishing on the bottom to hand, isn't it? In
Yeah.
a gram,
The
0.8.
wind doesn't affect it as much, does it?
No, it's a nice shape that is, and it's got a decent fibre tip in it. And like I say, that is the float we use shallow for Carasio sort of almost short lining,
Yeah.
like but swinging to hand.
Yeah.
It's a strong float as well.
It is. I
It's a
don't
nice,
know anyone that's broke one.
not unless you tread on it.
No.
But
Brilliant.
that's a popular in the Hydra range, definitely that and the flat floats.
Yeah. Yeah, the rounds for the Broads in the summer.
Yeah, the rounds.
They're really good.
So these
On
are the
rivers.
ones, obviously these are the ones rigged up for Italy with big shot, but the round is a float for putting it through at half pace,
Yep.
and the blade is a float for holding dead still.
Yep.
Obviously goes up to quite big sizes, that one.
And that's EVA, isn't it?
They're EVA, they're both EVA. So you can reverse the tip, you can tread on that, you can hit it. I did a video once where I was smacking it with a hammer
Yeah, I
on the
remember that,
desk.
yeah.
And it doesn't, it'll dent it, but you can still fish with it. It won't, it's not like balsa. So they're both good floats, really. It's amazing in Italy, when they fish dead still, they fish with such a short line on a
Right.
flat float.
Just hold it.
Yeah, it's almost like overshotting using
Yeah.
the tip of the, because you're not allowed to overshot. But yeah, so they're good products, and the winders, fancy winders that you can get, spoiler. And yeah, I guess that's it really, Alex.
Yeah. And obviously the hook lengths we do, and
Yeah,
all the
hook
other
lengths,
bits and pieces.
the H views,
And Bala Benny, as you say.
Bala Benny's still going strong. Yeah,
Still really popular.
everybody likes slagging it off when they get a chance, but there must be more people that like it that don't than don't, because it still sells. And I'm pretty happy really. The silicon's good.
Unique products, aren't they?
Try and make nichey,
Yeah.
or get nichey, nice, good quality. Don't sell any sort of cheapo, nasty products. It's
No.
just about, it's all nice because it's all stuff I use and use happily because it is good quality.
And what about Hydra, the brand in Italy? Is that excelling? Is that, you know?
Yeah, well, since the team's doing so well, it's really helped the business. It's a small business. It's a family business. It's a guy called Giancarlo and his two sons. Really, have got like they live in this sort of place. It's all fenced off. They got the unit and the factory and within the yard, and they live in this big house next to it. And that's just their philosophy. Like they don't do specie carp. They don't do anything they don't know about.
No,
They do match fishing stuff. Their
Yeah.
poles. One of the biggest businesses is poles,
Right.
which are 13-metre poles, so not designed for the UK at all. But they've got a real good reputation for poles. The luggage, which is made in Italy, the carbon line stuff, which is, you know, not many manufacturers in Europe of luggage really. So that's a big thing for them, and they do seat boxes and line and all this stuff, and yeah, so it's been going over 20 years,
Right.
the company. Yeah,
Brilliant.
and it's good because Giancarlo's like my age, but his two sons are in their sort of younger,
Yeah.
and you know, so
You
they
can see them.
they've got continuation going through. Yeah,
Brilliant. Well, thanks ever so much.
yeah, no, thanks.
Get your Hydra products from Tackle and Baits.
Right, guys, so if you've got any questions about SiWi or Hydra products, just phone the shop. That's the best thing to do,
Yeah.
isn't it? Do many people phone you for info?
They do, yeah. Message me. Yeah, the SiWi floats are very popular anyway. They are very popular, so we try and keep a lot in stock. I think the Magic Roach, that's been very popular this last couple of weeks. People getting ready for the Gloucester Canal, and
Are you proud of that one?
I wouldn't. Well, it's a good pattern. It's a pattern that he's obviously brought out that we've used for a long time. They've discontinued it, and more people can use. It's a pretty universal float, if you know what I mean.
How much input did you have with the design of it?
Basically, just showed him what length bristles and stuff like that, and then obviously sent it to Italy, and Simon's put his little touches on it, and away we go.
I'd be very proud of you because you've
Really?
yeah, because it's people respecting your input.
Right. Yeah. Well,
It is,
they might tell me they're absolute rubbish, but
No, they're good.
they do fish nice, fish very well.
yeah, that's good. What about I know the Hydra luggage is really well made.
It is, yeah. And going back to the mud situation, it's you can give it a good clean, pressure wash it down, and dry it out, and looks good, looks brand new again.
Yeah. If I was into the match scene, I'd want a bespoke, niche brand,
Yeah,
and that'd be a good one to get you.
it would. Yeah, it's nice gear.
Not many people would have it,
No.
which is kind of like, oh, you stick out, it'd be cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right, shall we kick into match results?
Yeah, do you want to start with the win fleet, mate?
Yeah, now
Spilsby.
I'm not sure if I'm gonna. I'm not sure how many I've missed off because obviously Chris hasn't sent me these, but
Dave Ashmore again, though.
yeah. So Derek Skinner sent me these from the 28th of Feb. So it's River Steeping, Spilsby. So we're going to go through the ones that I may have missed. So this is from the 28th of Feb, and Dave Ashmore was first with £5 on peg 23. Second was Derek Skinner. Oh, I can see now why I sent them to me. Yeah. We have peg 27 with £4.3. And Don Green was third with 312.
Yeah.
So that was then. Then we go to the 3rd of March. Again, River Steeping. First was Don Green, the same old names, £5.6. Second was Dave Ashmore with 4.7. And Dave Andrew was third with 2.7. There's a theme in Lincolnshire. If your name doesn't begin with a D
or an A,
you're pretty screwed. Right, here we go. 6th of March, River Steeping again. First was Don Green, £6.4. Second was Dave Ashmore, £5.11. And Mark Cook was third, and they haven't disappointed me, with £2.9
and a half,
which is very important. And getting up to the date now, 10th of March, again on the steeping. First was Dave Ashmore with £8. Second equal was Dennis Houghton and Alan Slater, both with £4.10 and no halves. So that was pretty cool. So, Derek, thank you for sending those in. And now
that's all up to date then.
Perfect. Yeah. So that'll be it, won't it? Will they have one on Wednesday? They may do.
I would think they probably will do, yeah. There'll be a few people looking to get out.
Yeah, so
definitely.
One more from these guys. That's it, up to speed. Cool.
Yeah.
Right, I can relax now because I've done Lincolnshire.
Lincolnshire, mate.
Where are you?
Well, we'll start with the Tuesday club. So they've been struggling. The bow was switched off. So they went and tried Raveley. And for people that know Raveley, it's a fantastic venue. Over probably the last 10 years, it's been not even a shadow of what it used to be. It used to be an absolute mecca of a venue. But because of the rain, as soon as we have loads of rain, the water floods into the nature reserve, and they just basically pumping the water back into the drain from the nature reserve. It's like a horrible orange colour. And the fish don't like it. They do not like it. But someone's got to win. And that man was Sir Cheesy Bob. Yeah.
Tench?
No, £1.10 he had. So if he did, it was one of the world's smallest tench. Yeah. Second was Lionel with £1, and then Arthur Smallwood, 10 ounce. So that's real tough going for them boys. I'm not sure where they're going this week, as in this Tuesday.
I saw Windmill Steve in the ship.
Yeah.
Last Tuesday?
Right, okay.
Playing darts.
Right.
Is that right?
Yeah, he plays darts, yeah.
He was telling me about the woes of some of these matches that he's been involved with as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then the Whittlesey Saturday crew, they went back down Whittlesey Dyke near the lock, and Andy Lawrence won it with 27.15. Big weight. And then Mike Mohan, 19.10, Paul Wright, 18.10. And everyone caught plenty of fish. So 2 weeks ago, they really struggled there for bites. And then again this week, they've caught a load of fish.
He was giving me the update of where these monster perch are.
Has he?
Yeah. And the shrub. It sounded like your normal matchman tails. Or these £4 perch.
It was this big. It was a pound and a half. Yeah. So, yeah, that was the Saturday crew. And then Ramsey and District, obviously, they went to their usual spots. Wednesday was won by Kev Molt for a change, £17 free. Dave Steele's 19.5, and then...
Hold on a minute.
19.5, £9.5.
I was going to say.
And then Duncan Folks, £7.2. And then Sunday, they were at Ramsey St Mary's again. Match winner was Danny Needham, Super Danny with 15.11. Mark Williams, second, 13. Then we had an equal third, which was Colgate Keith and Duncan with £8. Dead.
Still good weights banging around,
Yeah, they are, yeah. They are. And then there's only one other match I can find, and that's obviously the March and District A Open match. Last one of the season. The March Club donate peg fees into the prize pot, which is always nice. So the payouts are mega. I think Bob paid top 4, and then he paid winner of each zone and every 5 or 6 pegs.
Wow.
So there was plenty of money to be won, which is good. And match winner was Steve Slater, MPEG, £47.10. That was at the bypass.
Yep.
Runner-up was Gobber, Rob Wright, £45.2. He had a billion little fish for £45.2.
Where was he?
The bypass.
No big rud.
No. They caught a few where Slates was.
He must have been. Was he on the whip smashing them out?
Yeah. Third was Alistair Ogilvie, the old shufflenator. He had £43.
Bypass?
Yes, he was near, like, to the right of the marina mouth. G-Wag, £42 dead. He was on the boats at the bypass. And then Joy Boy, he had his 2 tench and some bits.
Who's Joy Boy?
Steve Joy, Sid's best mate. Joy Boy with £41.10. So he drew somewhere near the allotment style, a couple of tench in that. And then, we might as well carry on, was me with £39.10 on another absolute bunghole.
Well, you are the bunghole master.
Yeah, another bunghole, yeah. I think, to be fair, I've drawn the same peg twice this year, and it's 2 pegs above the bypass bridge. And for those that know it, up until this year, it's never ever put in, really, because it's normally his pants, do you know what I mean? But it just goes to show how many fish are in the river.
How many fish are above the bypass?
Well, yeah, millions. Yeah.
Crazy.
£39.10 I had of lots of small fish. So had a nice day. Didn't enjoy the mud and the wet weather. Just, it was the icing on the cake, really. It's like, oh, God. Climbing up and down the banks, and it's just awful. But there was, obviously we put the results on the Tackle and Baits Facebook page, so if anyone wants to ever see the boards, go and have a look. But as a venue this year, it's absolutely awesome.
That's incredible, isn't it?
It is awesome.
Yeah.
When you're getting bored of catching, or moaning you've had £39, it's something special, do you know what I mean? I think I fished March quite a bit, and the lowest weight I've had at March is £13.10, and that won my 11 peg section with £13.10. But that was like the day after we had all the snow, the ice, and it was frozen for a week. And that's the worst day's fishing I've had at March.
If you think that we've had how much rain we've had, I don't know if that's helped push the fish, even more fish in.
Yeah.
I think obviously the marina being shut off for quite some time has kept the rud out.
Yeah.
They obviously came out for a reason, couldn't get back in.
Yeah.
Which has helped those weights. So they're a little bit, they're very much inflated along there. Even having said that, it's absolutely incredible.
I think the fact that you've got different waves of fish. So, like, when one load of fish sort of had enough and a bit tired, then another wave of fish start to appear.
Yeah.
It's just brilliant. And on a venue, 120 pegs or 110 peg venue, unbelievable for consistency. Okay, you've got to draw the better areas, different times of year, you've got to be in certain areas, which is great. But the fact that this car park's been added to the bypass, okay, it's not 100% finished yet, but it will be. I think that that bypass section will be a massive section for years to come, because there's loads of fish there.
And the bait's going to keep going in.
Yeah.
It's like pre-baiting. Yeah.
It is. The more bait that goes in, the more fish stay there.
Yeah.
Less fish go back in the marina. So that's been great. Obviously, Bob's done a fantastic job again this year, running all the matches. People don't appreciate what he actually does. It's
crazy.
not like he's on a commercial and the pegs are all numbered up and he just puts a load of numbers in a bucket and you draw. He goes and physically puts pegs in, and he pegs the Hayjack leagues and winter leagues, and
It's relentless, isn't it?
Yeah.
He's fantastic. He is an amazing character. He really is.
Yeah.
The effort he puts in.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what was interesting. I was speaking to my next door neighbour, but 2.
Yeah.
He's a very elderly guy, and he's lovely. His name's Roland, right? And he was saying he picks up things, and he said the bank's been mullered. Not mullered, he didn't use the word mullered. It's destroyed by the anglers. I said, It's not destroyed by the anglers. It's had that much rain, and you can see how much use it gets.
Yeah.
So can you imagine if it was nicely platformed?
Yeah.
And I was explaining to him how much money the anglers bring in and at the river, and how it's one of the best winter league venues in the country.
Well, it is.
And he was like, he didn't quite, you could see he was working it out, going, yeah. And I said, and really the whole area needs kind of a little bit of management from FTC, Environment Agency.
Need to work together.
Yeah, and these platforms are they're a bit of a must now, aren't they? I think.
Oh.
Certain areas, because they're riverbanks. It's not the anglers doing it. It's just with the water levels going up and down, you can see the bank collapsing.
Yeah.
So if these platforms were properly built, it would help actually that side of things, and it's got to be seen as a massive revenue for the town.
Yeah.
That river out there is a gold mine.
It is.
In a very slow times of the year for businesses that need revenue. And I'm amazed that the FCC haven't jumped on this.
They're not interested either, are they? That's the thing.
Can't be.
They're just
It's strange. It's strange.
Yeah.
Anyway, you mentioned Sid's name.
Yeah.
It made me think, because they've actually gone, they've not just gone quiet, they've gone silent.
Silent.
The Motley Crew.
Yeah, they have, haven't
The
they?
Yiddites have gone. They've gone.
Yeah, they're gone, and I've took all the flack for it.
So obviously either they're going to have one big push before the last few podcasts, or I've done them. I think I've done them, mate.
Do you reckon?
Oh, without a shadow of a doubt. One they can't get organised because I've seen them as a team. They're very good, aren't they? No. Obviously, these guys can't get organised. But two, I think
Maybe they're waiting for the North London derby. Maybe they're waiting.
well, they're waiting in vain because we are top of the league.
How long? Yeah.
I think it leaves us just one thing to do, doesn't it?
What's that?
Chip shop.
Chip shop award. Well, we mentioned it earlier on, and I think it's the biggest chip shopping of the year, to be honest.
Did I steal your thunder?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. So Danny, XXL t-shirt, he's already put that in his comments.
This is not his first T-shirt.
No, he got chip shop on Bennick as well. So 2 t-shirts for Danny. So yeah, not a lot really to say. He's owned up to it, and everyone's gone, ooh.
You like that, don't you?
Yeah, I think it's good. Yeah. Well, not everyone owns up to it, do they? They're like, they sort of take it a bit as an offence. It's not an offence. It's a laugh at the end of the day.
Yeah, it is a laugh. Yeah.
You know, like we all sat there, and when we go back to results, and everyone was taking the piss out of Danny. Did you win your section, Polly? Yeah. Did you win your section, Alex? Yeah. Did you frame Ali? Yeah. Did you? Oh, how'd you get on then, Dan? Do you know what I mean? But then another week, it could be someone else's turn. So, you know, no one takes each other too seriously. And
It's a sign of good anglers, mate. You can take mick out of each other.
well, you got to, haven't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's good.
Yeah.
Right. I reckon we've probably got 3 podcasts to go.
Do you reckon?
Do you reckon?
all right. Well, yeah, we'll see, won't we? We'll see.
Can't work the date out of my head, but I think we've got 3.
So we're going to go to the end of
Well, we've
March.
got a big one lined up for the finale, haven't we?
Yeah.
It's timing. So don't worry, it's not the Peterborough crew.
No.
So we're safe.
Yeah. No, it's a big one, isn't it?
It's a big one. Isn't it?
Yeah.
I'm not going to say anything else, but that's out of our control. It's to do with timing. Yeah. So I think we've got maybe 2, if not 3, more to go.
Yeah.
Keep your comments coming in, guys. Or think of something really bizarre to talk about in the next 2. It won't be flat floats.
No. Now the season's ended. You watch, it'll stop raining, the sun will come out, and everywhere will be perfect.
We have no idea what we'll talk about, but it'll be gripping.
Yeah. We'll talk about canal fishing. Great.
We'll get Simon. Oh, we need to get Steve on, Barnett.
Yes, we do, yeah.
So there we go. Don't worry, guys. We'll have the last 3 episodes. We'll have at least 2 guests on.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we won't bore you too much. I'm rattling on now. I think we should bring it to a close.
Yeah, 100%.
Right, if this comes out on the Wednesday, so you've got 2 more days of the season to go. Get out there, skive off work for the day, skive off school if you go to school.
Yeah.
Just skive off and go fishing and be
Yeah.
fine.
End of season,
Get
isn't
the
it?
most of it. See you all next time.
See you next time.